her way, but it gets the job done, and I just smile when I see it.
High five on it.
Alice is more agility-based.
Which is sometimes difficult filming, but it looks really cool when you get done.
She can jump, and she's just very pixie-like.
It's really cool to be able to have superhuman speed.
Where could she be? Oh, there she is!
She's like a dark Tinkerbell, and Jasper's just awesome.
Jasper's like the fast one. He's a little more experienced.
Which is very important with the newborns because they're just as quick.
They'll crush you instantly.
I don't like the idea of throwing punches at Ashley and Nikki. You know, something about that, I think everything my father ever taught me was, you know, I was going against. Ah!
Edward is just a stud at fighting. He doesn't have to do much. He knows when things are coming, punches or slams or anything like that.
Edward's a mix between everybody else.
It was funny because we done all the choreography for the fights. It's very, very intense and serious when we were doing it. It looked like we're trying to kill each other in rehearsals.
That hurt a little bit.
It's just very funny doing it. In the same way that me having a fight with Peter, in reality, I'd be laughing quite a lot. That was a fun scene.
All right, one quick rehearsal. Go.
Here we are. This is the battlefield. This is where it all goes down. Every moment of Eclipse pointed to this battlefield right here.
We found this spot, which is a gun range. It's a field that they actually use as a gun range. We greened in over there to hide the cranes, which have to protect us with the silk, so that if it's sunny, we can shoot in shade. We have to kind of keep it so that it's consistent lighting for the 13 days that we're shooting here. We built this whole area with that tree and those rocks.
We're doing some intense stuff. We have a great department who are making sure we're safe.
We'll hand off all of the big action beats with the crane rigs and the wire gags and stuff for second unit.
E.J. Forrester was my second unit director, and he was wonderful. He's like, you want like a Swiss Army knife that does everything, and it'll be friendly to you and make you coffee. That's E.J. Forrester.
That's what you get for being late.
E.J.'s done so much stunt work.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ashley Green, working without a net.
I'm not a fan of working with second units because I'm kind of one of those people that see something very specifically. And generally I go out and I do that myself. And my entire career I've always been the person to do it on my own. But it was fantastic to have E.J. because E.J. actually understood that and would always be asking, well, what else can we do? What else can we do to help? And they just went forward like soldiers.
3, 2, 1, action!
David really wanted this heaviness to everything. He said that everything should feel weighted and heavy and solid. So when we're flinging people in the air and when they hit the ground, they're hitting the ground very hard.
The physicality of it is what you want to get.
You just keep pounding people into the ground over and over for these battles. You try to hide a mat wherever you can.
We're dealing with guys that aren't human, so we have to enhance those abilities, and the only way to do that is either visual effects or some wire type of assist. But you see pretty much all the actors doing a lot of their movements themselves.
There's ratchets, air rams, descenders.
Go!
Just once I want to try that.
Very nice.
Good job, guys.
I think we got that. Okay. Oh, excellent. Fantastic.
In the field battle, there was just a great deal of contact. Very early on, we developed what we dubbed the potato.
Or I affectionately call the pickle.
And some people got confused whether we were talking about the pickle or the potato. But it was a stand-in that we had the effects guys built. And then we know what the interior mass of them looks like. The effects guys attached like little grommets to this and ran those off to stanchions, so this thing was like hanging there. And that would allow the vampires that are in combat with wolves to actually leap and jump on these things.
This is the down and dirty way of doing stuff fast and quick out on location.
Our challenge then becomes, how do we make that 1,000-pound wolf fit into what is probably less than a 10 or 15-pound foam object? And that is where on set you have to be very careful and tenacious about how you direct your actors.
We don't want you to cross this. We want you to stay kind of in this. Really love DJ on this show. We had a really good time. We're complimentary. When things are working right, you have the Vulcan mind meld thing going, and you just can anticipate each other.
He's actually hitting him, though. He's coming in here. Yeah. Boom. He runs through.
Construction of the vampire army, even how vampires are constructed, what they're made of, you know, what's underneath this stuff, was something that I became very obsessed with and had many conversations with Stephanie about, and postulated many biological solutions, because when we kill these vampires, they break into pieces, and we have to know what these pieces are made of, and at least I think we do. I think it's good, because that way we can do it well.
When you break one, when you rend, we're calling it rending. When you rend a vampire, you rip them apart. You can sort of see the human structure inside there, but it's very crystalline.
That particular effect, you know, fell to Image Engine as their thing. And so that was like, yeah, for us it was, okay.
The crystal shattering was definitely very subjective. Like, everybody had a different opinion on what it should look like, because ultimately, well, what does a person look like when they crack and break and it looks like crystal? But to agree on what looks right is very, very difficult.
We want it to look as violent as the book seems to imply that it should be, and yet at the same time stay within the levels of taste and censorship.
How do you make a PG-rated film filled with decapitations and severings that isn't going to be basically shot down by the ratings committee? So it really was about this crystal concept that allowed these actions to really take place, because otherwise they would never reach the film.
We're still PG-13, so that's been a challenge for us too, because we have some shots that are crossover shots with Image Engine. So Image Engine will deliver us a plate, for instance, with Riley's hand as just a stump, you know, with a crystalline stump. And then we have to use that for our plate. Or we have some shots where the wolf will come in, grab him, tear off that hand, and then Image Engine works on a hand, and then we composite all together in the end. It was among our top 3 challenges on the show.
In the vampire film, but this is a very different kind of thing. This is a romantic story.
This is the first day I've shot on Twilight without a kiss.
To go from darker, more abject feelings to very pure romantic scenes, to do very emotional scenes was a huge challenge and fun and a way to learn and grow. As a storyteller, you're looking for a great story. And I'm totally biased, but of all of the books, it's my favorite story. I look at the themes. I remember talking with Stephanie about this. The idea that something like love, which is dangerous, and vampires, they're dangerous too. Let's make them somehow acceptable. Well, let's make them good. Let's make them aspirational.
All right, here we go.
The Twilight universe is completely unique. The fans just really wanted Eclipse to be, I think, what they read and what they wanted it to be in their head, you know. And I hope we can do that.
Ready, and action.
I'm gonna need that ring.